Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley here with you. It is about 10 o'clock here on our Friday night. 10 o'clock on Friday night. Glad to have you with us. Of course, we're tracking in this winter storm. It's going to be a big mess over our area. As we go into tomorrow evening, looking at a lot of sleet around our area, we're probably going to have about 12 hours of that. And then about 12 hours of freezing rain. And that's where we have to be a bit concerned about how much of that is sticking and how much of that is being an issue around the area. A lot of ice. This is an ice storm that probably we haven't seen for quite a while. This winter storm is starting to take shape across parts of the country, and it is going to be a problem for us as well. If you have questions about this and you want to get them answered, you can go ahead to text us. The number is 336-379-5775. That's right there on your screen. You can add that into your phone, and as we go along here, we can chat about it if you'd like to. But this is going to be a big problem for us, not just us, of course, but really most of North Carolina, most of the United States, honestly. This is a big chunk of the country, as I'll show you in a second. It basically stretches from Texas to Tennessee to the Carolinas and all the way up to New England. So it's a big storm, and it's going to have big problems, I think, too. For us, we already have several warnings in effect across the state. So we've got winter storm warnings, ice storm warnings, you name it, we've got it in the Carolinas. Even the coastal areas have some impact out of this thing as well. A little bit of freezing rain could happen over there. But if we widen out the view and then we widen it out even more, I mean, just take a look at the scope and size from Massachusetts and Rhode Island over to New Mexico. It's an enormous winter storm that is taking shape over the next couple of days. So this is something that will impact a lot of people, and it'll impact us in a pretty nasty way. A combination of sleet, but also freezing rain. So let's show you what's going on right now in the middle of the country. We've got Kansas here. We've got Oklahoma. These are areas that are dealing with a lot of this system right now. Just take a look at what's going on in Oklahoma City. I mean, really some heavy snow. That blue and the yellow, the blue and the white on your screen, that is what we're seeing with a lot of snowfall in that area. And something that we're going to continue to watch is, always keeping an eye at this stage in the game. How is the storm doing for them? Is it overperforming, maybe more snowy, maybe more cold, or is it underperforming? Could it be getting a little too warm too quickly? Those are the kind of things that we'll be keeping an eye on at this stage in the game, because at that point we could maybe start to say something about how our storm could perform for us. For example, if it's a little bit snowier and sleetier in Texas than we would have thought, well, maybe that would bring us a sign that it'll be a little colder for us too, and we could kind of keep an eye on it that way. So those are all things to kind of keep an eye on as we get a little bit closer here. But that's going on in Oklahoma City. Here's Dallas, Texas right now. You can see there's still mostly rain at the moment, but I was able to bring up here one of our national cameras. The label is very wrong. It's not Danville, Virginia, but this is somewhere in Oklahoma. I'm just going to call it Oklahoma, right outside of Oklahoma City, basically. A couple of the interstates out there. You can see it's just started to come down, and it's making it count. You can see it's really cold because that snow it's dry. It's not really sticking all that much to the roadways. And that could be something that we see in our area tomorrow, the beginning of the system for us. And this is a new run of our model, so we'll get to look at it together for the first time. Let's see here. This is 6 o'clock or so for your Saturday. For tomorrow, the name of the game is that you're wanting to prepare and get ready. It's your last day to do so, but you still pretty much have all day. I think once you get to about 5 and 6 o'clock, you probably want to be where you want to be. That's just my opinion. Now, unfortunately, it looks like if you're a snow fan, the window of opportunity is super, super small. We might not start as snow. We could start right away as some sleet. So that's something to keep an eye on. But that's kind of what we're looking here at the beginning of the storm. As we go farther along the line, that purple color on the screen, that purple is sleet. So that is the sleet coming down. That's through midnight. We'll start to see that kind of thicken up. And then as we go through the rest of the evening, we're nervously watching that pink line. So I'll back it up a little bit. Really watching that pink line very closely. Remember, this thing started at about 6 p.m. Through 6 a.m., it's still sleet. But when do we switch over to freezing rain? Is it right away at 7 and 8? Is it later, closer to noon? Those are things that we have to narrow down and figure out. Now, our forecast model has a couple breaks in the action. That could be good. We'll have to see. Lighter freezing rain can actually accumulate more quickly than heavier freezing rain, which kind of is counterintuitive. But the way that it works is if it's heavy, a lot of it just falls and drips right off the trees. If it's lighter, it globs onto it and it accretes, which is what the fancy word for accumulating. And then it grows and grows and grows. So I think either way, it's locked in at this point that we're going to have a bad storm. It's just a question of how bad is it going to be. So these are things that we have to think about. Sleet is a factor here. We will get a couple of inches of sleet on the ground. But then after that, we're looking at ice, travel, and power problems being major. These are all major impacts for us. And, better safe than sorry here. I do think most of us are in line to get at least 1/4 of an inch of ice, but you could see as much as a half. And even higher than that can't be ruled out. So in most of the triad, about 1/4 of an inch to a half an inch, but over a half an inch is possible. And that would include areas from Raleigh to Asheboro over to Charlotte, as well as our foothill communities. So freezing rain is the top of the list, the biggest concern, and that's most of the day on Sunday from about 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or so is when we'll be watching for that. The snow and the sleet, well, hardly any snow, but basically just sleet for us. That could accumulate to 1 to 2 inches, 2 to 3 farther north. Those are the issues that I think we'll want to keep an eye on as far as kind of the base coat on the roads. The roads are going to be a terrible mess, and the base of that is going to be made up of sleet. And once you compact that even more, you drive on it, that stuff doesn't go anywhere. It is so difficult to drive in. Really, really tough. And so that's going to be a factor for us in our area. Now, again, to reiterate, tomorrow, your timing is okay, at least through about 5 p.m. But at that point, you start to see the snow and the sleet coming down. And then on Sunday, that's a day inside. You do not want to be messing with that. We've got freezing rain all over the place. We've got trees potentially falling down and being a big problem. So there are issues here that can't be avoided. And I think that the ice threat is one that you just really can't overplay. It is a very significant icing threat for our area. Now, just to reiterate, in case you weren't familiar, once you get over 1/4 of an inch of ice, that's when you start to have issues. Scattered power outages, trees breaking. Once you get toward the higher end of that range, up to around 1/2 an inch, boy, do you have big problems. And anything more than that, most trees are impacted. Most roads are impassable. Power outages galore. Huge problems. I mean, just huge problems. So we really want to do our best to avoid 1/2 an inch ice. But obviously, none of us control the weather. So what do? Well, you've got to have a plan to be stuck. And there are a couple of ways you can get stuck. You can get stuck because the roads are too bad outside, or there could be trees blocking the roads and they need to be chainsawed off and all these other things. A lot of us are going to be stuck. And a lot of us are going to be stuck without power. So these are all things to think about. And it's not fun to talk about these things, but it is something of a huge concern. So just to put it another way, we've got the sleet moving in first. The freezing rain is the biggest concern, especially once you get into the middle of the day on Sunday. Then Sunday afternoon will be the worst of it, tapering off in the evening. Dangerous, dangerous travel. We'll start to know by Sunday afternoon what it's looking like for power outages and for the travel. But I do think we're stuck where we're going to be for quite a while. And part of that story is talking about how cold it's going to be in the days that follow. And so we could be seeing single-digit temperatures for Tuesday morning. That could be the worst of it for our cold weather. And that cold weather is going to stick around for a large majority of the time. So as we reiterate the timing for you, keep in mind you might need to be where you're going to be for several days. I'm not just talking about into Monday. You're not going home and going out to lunch on Monday either. I mean, that's the type of weather that we're talking about and the type of an impact that we're talking about. It's one that really we don't see all that often. And it's kind of on par with some hurricanes that we've dealt with before. And it's really, really tough. It's really tough. So let's take a look at this 7-day forecast. We've got a weather impact alert Saturday evening through Sunday, through Monday, into Tuesday morning, extending it out that far because of the cold mornings that we will continue to see. So be safe out there. We're going to have you covered. You know, Throughout the weekend, there's so much that we're going to be offering up to you. We've got hourly cut-ins. We've got our regular newscasts. We're all in on keeping you informed and keeping you safe. So please do your best to keep yourself safe, and we're going to do our best to keep you informed. That's our commitment to you. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you at 11 o'clock for the news.